Hello, my magnificent, radiant Leo souls, and welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom. I want you to draw your royal energy inward for a moment. Center yourself in the throne room of your own heart, because I have a question for you, one that requires the truth of your soul, not just the memory of your mind. Have you recently dreamed of someone familiar, a family member, a friend, or someone you once deeply cherished? In the dream, they might have simply stood there, smiling at you, or whispered something that warmed your heart. Maybe you woke up feeling a wave of longing, or an emotion too deep to name. Sometimes, dreams like these aren't just random. They're how our soul reconnects with the people who matter most, whether they're still with us, far away, or live only in memory. If you've ever had a dream that stirred your heart in that way, hold on to that feeling. And if you feel called, share your dream, a story, an image, or just a feeling in the comments below. Because sometimes it's in our dreams that we hear the most honest whispers from our heart. You see, I sense that many of you have been feeling not asleep. That is not a word for a soul like yours, but eclipsed, as if a shadow has fallen over your inner sun, dimming your natural radiance, muffling your glorious roar. You've been present, you've been functioning, but you haven't been truly shining. And I am here today as your guide to reveal an extraordinary truth. While your light was dimmed, while you were navigating this period of shadow, a prayer of immense power was sent out into the cosmos, a prayer that was not a gentle whisper, but a command, a demand for the king, for the queen, to return. And in that very moment, the great wheel of karma began to turn, not to punish you, my dear Leo, but to orchestrate your coronation. This is more than just a weekly message. This is a divine decree. This is the universe officially announcing that the period of eclipse is over. Can you feel it? That deep, resonant warmth returning to your chest, that feeling that the stage lights are about to come up, and your grand entrance is imminent. It is real, and it is your destiny. If you can already feel the truth of these words warming your heart, do me the honor of tapping that like button, letting that spark of recognition become a wave of light for other Leos to find. And if you have not yet joined our noble court here at Cosmic Wisdom, please subscribe. We are a community dedicated to celebrating and unlocking our divine potential, and your presence here makes us all shine brighter. Now, take a deep, regal breath. Let's step into the light of the first great truth. There are times, my magnificent Leo, when even the sun must endure a period of twilight. Moments when your generous heart feels weary, your creative fire feels like embers, and your spirit retreats into the private chambers of your inner castle. But even in that quiet, even in that shadow, a soul somewhere was sending out an invocation for you. And let us be clear, a prayer for a Leo is a force of nature. It's not a meek request whispered into the void. It is a powerful, heartfelt summons. It is a plea to the cosmos, to God, to the source, for the world's light to be restored by restoring yours. It is a call for the rightful monarch to reclaim their throne. This prayer was spoken with the full conviction of a heart that knows the world is a little darker, a little colder without your full, radiant presence in it. And the universe, my friend, heard this royal command. Karma, for a soul as central and vital as yours, operates on a grand scale. It is not a gentle ripple in a pond. When your karma moves, it is like the sun breaking through the clouds after a week of storms. It is a dramatic, glorious, and undeniable shift in the very fabric of reality. It doesn't just correct a small imbalance, it restores the divine order. And that prayer, that powerful invocation, was the celestial signal that it was time for the true ruler to return. You, my radiant Leo, are the heart of the zodiac. You are ruled by the sun itself, the center of our solar system, the source of all light, life, and creative energy. Your role is not to dissolve karma like a water sign or transmute it in the shadows like a Scorpio. Your sacred duty is to outshine it. It is to embody a light so pure, a spirit so generous, and a heart so courageous that darkness simply cannot coexist in your presence. You are the living, breathing embodiment of divine, creative will. So who could have sent such a powerful invocation on your behalf? It could be an ancestor, a king or queen in your own lineage who sees you from the spirit realm and is roaring for you to remember your own noble blood. It could be a dear friend who misses the sound of your laughter and the warmth of your light, and who prays every night for your joy to return. It could even be a child, your own child, or one you love, whose pure and innocent belief in your strength is the most powerful magic of all. I once knew a brilliant Leo woman, a natural leader and CEO, who went through a devastating business failure. She lost everything and retreated completely. She told me, "I felt like my sun had gone out. I didn't want to be seen by anyone." Her younger brother, who had always looked up to her as his hero, was heartbroken to see her so diminished. He confessed to me later that he didn't know what to do, so he simply lit a candle for her every single day. He said his prayer was simple: "Please God, let my sister remember that she is a queen." A year later, she emerged with a new business idea, more innovative and heart-centered than anything she had done before. She became more successful than ever. When she heard about her brother's daily ritual, she wept and said, "I felt it. I didn't know what it was, but I felt a warmth returning to me, a little more each day. It was him. He was calling me home to myself." You don't need to see the invocation to know it was sent. You feel its effects as a sudden surge of creative inspiration after a long drought. You feel it as the courage to finally step back into the spotlight after hiding in the wings. You feel it as a deep, resonant roar of yes rising from your soul, when all you've known for months is a weary sigh. That, my dear Leo, is your karma turning. That is the universe conspiring to place the crown back upon your head. If a face or a name comes to you now, someone living or who has passed, someone you feel has been your champion, your royal guard, I want you to honor them. Write their name in a beautiful script, or simply place your hand on your heart and thank them for believing in your light when you couldn't see it yourself. Your Majesty does not require loud proclamations. It simply requires heartfelt recognition. And as you acknowledge the sacred call that has set this in motion, we must now turn to the reason the eclipse happened in the first place. For even a royal heart can be wounded, and that wound holds a profound lesson. Let us journey together into our second truth. Not every person who betrayed you, my noble Leo, was a true enemy. Let that truth settle into your generous heart. Some of the most painful wounds you have ever endured, the betrayals of trust, the stabs of disloyalty, were not mere acts of treachery. They were divine lessons in sovereignty. You have likely stood in the center of your own life, your heart wide open, offering warmth, generosity, and unwavering loyalty, only to have it thrown back in your face. The shock of it, the deep personal offense. For a Leo, loyalty is not a preference. It is a sacred, binding oath. To have that oath broken is to have the very laws of your kingdom violated. You have looked at the sky and roared, "How dare they, after all I have given?" But what if that person was a karmic actor, sent with a difficult but necessary role to play in your story? What if they were not meant to be a loyal subject in your court, but to be the court jester, the fool whose antics revealed a critical vulnerability in the walls of your kingdom? They were sent to show you where you were giving your royal energy to those who were unworthy of it. You, my dear Leo, are ruled by the mighty sun, the heart of our cosmos. Your nature is to give, to shine, to warm, to create. You radiate energy effortlessly. But this also means you can be wounded in a way that is unique to you. A wound to a Leo is a wound to your pride, your honor, and your incredibly generous heart. It makes you question your own light. But here is the majestic secret the universe wants you to know. Those experiences were not meant to diminish your light. They were meant to teach you how to direct it more wisely. God, the universe, the divine source, did not send these betrayals to break your heart. It sent them to teach you what a throne is truly for. A throne is not just a seat of power, it is a seat of discernment. In the archetypal story of the wounded king, the health of the king is directly tied to the health of the kingdom. When the king is wounded, the land becomes barren. His personal healing is what restores life and vitality to all. That painful betrayal, that was the wound that initiated your wounded king journey. It was the event that forced you to retreat, to look at your kingdom, and to ask the tough questions. Who have I allowed into my inner court? Who is worthy of my light? And who is simply feeding on it? Your healing, your reclaiming of discernment, is what will make your kingdom flourish once more. I am reminded of a powerful story from a Leo man, a performer who gave his heart and soul to his craft and his audience. He had a manager who he trusted implicitly, treating him like family. He later discovered this manager had been stealing from him for years. The betrayal was so profound, he stopped performing. He said, "It wasn't the money. It was that I gave him my loyalty, my light, and he treated it like it was nothing." During his time away, he realized he had been so focused on the applause of the crowd that he had never learned to vet his own inner circle. His pain forced him to become not just a great performer, but a wise king. When he returned, he did so with a new team, a new understanding of his own value, and a new radiance that was more powerful than ever. The wound didn't destroy him. It made him a sovereign. Do you see the glorious alchemy here? The pain was not your downfall. The pain was your coronation. It led you to the throne room of your own heart and forced you to learn the first rule of benevolent leadership. Protect your kingdom by protecting yourself first. The one who hurt you was not the true villain. They were merely the catalyst for your ascension. Forgiveness for a Leo is a royal act. It is not about condoning the betrayal. It is a declaration of your own magnificence. It is looking at the memory, at the wound, and saying, "You are banished from this kingdom, not out of anger, but because you are no longer relevant to my reign. My energy is far too valuable to be spent on this old battle." This is the incredible gift that betrayal gave you, the chance to fully understand the value of your own light. They may have tried to tarnish your crown, but they only succeeded in forcing you to polish it until it shone so brightly it blinded them. If you are still carrying the sting of a past disloyalty, if the memory of it still makes your royal heart ache, I invite you to perform a ritual of sovereignty. Write the person's name on a piece of paper, below it, write this royal decree. By the power of my own heart, I declare this matter closed. You are released from my kingdom. Feel the power in that declaration. You are not a victim asking for peace. You are a monarch creating it by decree. If you have ever had to banish someone from your heart, not out of hate, but out of a profound act of self-love and protection, I want you to write in the comments, I reclaimed my kingdom. Let us fill this space with the power of sovereign hearts, a testament to the unconquerable spirit of the lion. For the moment you stop fighting for a territory that was unworthy is the moment you can turn your attention to building your true empire. And that brings us to our next truth. Here we arrive at a magnificent paradox for the Leo soul. You are a sign of immense creative power and passion, yet you are also a fixed sign. This means when you commit your heart, you are steadfast, loyal, and you hold on with the full force of your radiant being. You hold on to people, to projects, to dreams, believing that to let go is to fail, to admit your light wasn't strong enough. We are taught that to achieve our desires, we must pursue them with all our might. And you, my courageous friend, are a master of the chase. You have poured your heart, your energy, your very life force into things, believing your sheer will could make them bend to your vision. And yet, sometimes, the very act of holding on so tightly is what suffocates the magic. But what if the most powerful act of a monarch is not to conquer, but to release? For a Leo, letting go is not surrender. It is not defeat. It is the ultimate expression of confidence. It is the sun, which does not chase the planets. The sun holds its own magnificent center, and its own gravitational power keeps everything that is meant to be in its orbit. It doesn't worry about the comet that flies by. It trusts in its own central, undeniable power. Letting go is you trusting in your own gravitational pull. Right now, with the great celestial bodies shifting and activating your chart, you are in a profound cycle of re-evaluating your kingdom. Old relationships, old ambitions, old versions of yourself may be coming up for review. You might feel a tension between your loyal heart, which wants to hold on, and your evolving soul, which knows it's time to expand. Do not see this as a conflict. See this as your coronation council. Your soul is asking you to decide what and who is worthy of coming with you into your new, more glorious reign. In esoteric teachings, it is said that a king does not run, a king does not chase, a king attracts. The moment you stop chasing what is running from you, you reclaim your royal posture. You reclaim your throne. This is the essence of noble detachment. It is the understanding that anything that requires you to diminish your light, to beg, or to abandon your own center in order to keep it, is not worthy of being in your kingdom in the first place. I am reminded of a story about a famous Leo actor who was devastated when he was passed over for a role he believed was destined for him. He had obsessed over it, campaigned for it, and felt its loss as a deep personal rejection. His mentor told him, "A role doesn't make you a star. You make the role stellar. Stop chasing this one part and go create your own. A king builds his own stage." That advice shifted everything. The actor went on to write and produce his own film, a project that was far more authentic to his spirit. It became a massive success and won him more acclaim than the role he had lost ever could have. He didn't let go out of weakness. He let go out of the dawning realization of his own creative power. When you no longer need external validation to feel worthy, When you no longer need a specific person's love to feel loved, when you no longer need a specific outcome to feel successful, you have ascended. You have understood that you are not the character in the play. You are the writer, director, and star of your own magnificent life. So I ask you, my majestic friend, what have you been pouring your golden energy into that is not reflecting your light back to you? Just for this moment, imagine issuing a royal decree of release. Feel the immense power in that. You are not being abandoned. You are clearing your stage for a grander production. If you are ready to perform this act of supreme self-confidence, I invite you to write this decree in your journal, or to declare it in the comments as a vow to the cosmos. My light is my own. I release all that dims it. This is you, the sun, reclaiming your center. And in that magnificent centered space, you will begin to feel a new kind of support. A powerful, ancient council has been waiting for you to take your throne. And this brings us to your ancestral court. Have you ever been on the verge of making a big decision and suddenly felt a surge of courage that seemed to come from beyond yourself? Have you ever spoken a truth so profound and wise that you surprised even yourself, as if an older, wiser soul was speaking through you? Have you ever felt, in a moment of despair, an unshakable sense of pride, a refusal to be defeated that was etched into your very bones? My radiant Leo, you do not walk this earth alone. You walk at the head of a majestic procession. You are the current ruler in a long and noble lineage of courageous souls. The veil between you and the spirit world is thin, not in a dreamy, watery way, but in a fiery, passionate one. Your ancestors are not quiet ghosts. They are a roaring, supportive court of guardians. That invocation we spoke of earlier, it did more than just stir your karma. It was a signal to your entire celestial court that the heir was ready to ascend, and they have been working behind the scenes ever since, clearing your path, fortifying your heart, and reminding you of the noble blood that flows through your veins. Love and courage for your lineage are not emotions that die. They are a legacy. They are a torch passed down through generations. Your ancestors may no longer walk in physical form, but their pride, their strength, and their indomitable spirit are woven into the very fabric of your soul. They are the source of your unshakable dignity. As a Leo, you are the heart of your family, the heart of your lineage. Your journey in this lifetime is not just about your own self-expression. It is about bringing honor to your entire ancestral line. You are the one they have been waiting for, the one with the courage to shine so brightly that you heal the wounds of the past and create a legacy of joy and success for the future. You are the sun that illuminates your entire family tree. I once heard a profound story from a Leo man who came from a long line of humble, hard-working people who never felt they had a right to take up space. He had a deep, burning desire to be an artist, but was crippled by the feeling that it was a selfish, prideful ambition. He was about to give up when he had a vivid dream. In the dream, his grandfather, a man he had deeply loved, stood before him. His grandfather had been a quiet, gentle man in life, but in the dream, he stood tall and proud. He simply pointed at my friend's heart and said, "Let it shine, for all of us." The man woke up and understood. His desire wasn't selfish, it was a sacred duty. He was meant to be the one to express the light that his ancestors had been forced to hide. His art became his way of honoring them. That is your majestic purpose, Leo. Your success is their success. Your joy is their joy. The protection you feel is their unwavering belief in your right to rule your own life. The courage you feel is their roar, echoing through time, right into your heart. If there is a departed ancestor, a parent, a grandparent, a noble soul from your line whose strength and pride you carry, I invite you to call them forward in your mind's eye now. See them standing behind you, a hand on your shoulder, placing a celestial crown upon your head. Thank them for their legacy. Thank them for their fire. This is not an act of remembrance. It is an act of empowerment. It is you consciously accepting the scepter of power that is your birthright. And now, with the full power of your royal court behind you, it is time to fully ascend the throne. It is time to become the son that you were always meant to be. We have journeyed through the sacred invocation, the wound to the royal heart, the decree of release, and the support of your ancestral court. And all of these majestic steps have led to this one final, glorious truth. The entire journey was designed to guide you back to the ultimate source of all light, power, and creation in your life, you. That prayer was not sent to ask for a savior. It was sent to announce the return of the sovereign. You, my magnificent Leo, are the sun of your own universe. You are the source of your own warmth, the creator of your own joy, the ruler of your own magnificent destiny. For so long, you may have sought your reflection in the eyes of others, looking for applause, for validation, for a love that could match the grandeur of your own. But this entire cosmic journey has been a coronation ceremony to teach you one profound lesson: how to become your own source of light. The Buddha taught that we are our own refuge. For a Leo, the lesson is even grander. You are your own sun. Nothing can eclipse you when you realize you are the source of the light. No one can dethrone you when you realize the throne exists within your own heart. And so, you must now become the benevolent monarch of your own inner world. And how do you rule this kingdom now? It is not by demanding loyalty, but by being so loyal to yourself that it inspires loyalty in others. It is not by building walls to protect your heart, but by cultivating an inner fire so warm and so bright that it naturally repels those with cold or shadowy intentions. You protect yourself with the sheer, undeniable, majestic force of your own authenticity. A wise Leo once shared this beautiful insight with our community. I spent half my life trying to be the person I thought everyone wanted me to be, hoping they would love me for it. It was exhausting. Then I realized my only job was to be unapologetically me, to be as bright, as loud, and as passionate as my soul desired. The moment I started doing that, the right people flocked to my light like moths to a flame, and the wrong people scurried away, blinded by a light they couldn't handle. My authenticity became my greatest protector. That prayer, that sacred invocation, planted the seed of your sovereignty. And you, with every courageous act of self-expression, with every generous act of love that comes from a full heart, are nurturing that seed into a magnificent, life-giving sun. Every time you choose your creative joy over an obligation that drains you, you fuel your fire. Every time you speak your truth with courage and compassion, you fuel your fire. Every time you celebrate your own victories, big or small, you are taking your rightful place on the throne. So, if you feel this glorious shift within you, this return of your warmth, your passion, your unshakable confidence, I invite you to make one final royal declaration, a vow to yourself, to your ancestors, and to the entire cosmos. Write it down, roar it aloud, type it into the comments below as a testament to your ascension. I am the sovereign of my own light. Let these words be the constitution of your new kingdom, a sacred contract with your own divine soul. Because this journey has brought you to the ultimate truth. You are not eclipsed. You are not dimmed. You are the sun, fully and majestically returned. We have reached the end of our time together today, my majestic Leo, but for you, your glorious reign is just beginning. If you are still here, with your heart beating in time, with these words, with the warmth of your own spirit returning to you, then I bow to you. You have walked through the shadows and have chosen to become the light once more. The prayer that was once sent out for you has been answered. It has guided you home to the throne room of your own heart. You are no longer a wounded king or a queen in exile. You are the magnificent, benevolent, and powerful ruler of your own life. You are no longer a victim of disloyalty. You are a master of discernment. You are no longer just the one who gives your light away. You are the one who shines so brightly that you illuminate the world just by being you. Karma has turned, not with a whisper, but with a triumphant symphony. And now, your life is ready to unfold as the grand and beautiful masterpiece it was always meant to be. It is time for you to live from the part of you that is royal, the part that is sovereign, the part of you that knows its own infinite worth. I would be so honored to hear from you. What part of this message made your lion's heart roar in recognition? What truth are you ready to claim as your own? Share your thoughts, your declarations, your stories of reclaiming your crown in the comments below. Your story of ascension could be the light that guides another Leo home. And of course, if you have a beloved Leo in your pride who has been hiding their light, please share this video with them, not to change them, but to remind them of the magnificent crown that is waiting for them to claim it. Thank you. Thank you for your courage, for your warmth, and for the honor of walking with you on this sacred path today. Your light makes the world a more beautiful place. On your screen, you will now see other guided journeys from cosmic wisdom, each one designed to help you explore and expand your incredible, radiant potential. Remember this, my magnificent Leo. You are the creator of your own kingdom. You are the sun, and the entire cosmos is your adoring audience, waiting with bated breath to witness your glorious reign. Shine on.